Hi, welcome to Carrie's Corner, and today I want to read out of Luke 8 about a not commonly talked about thing in church. I want to talk about demons. And a lot of people think they're not real. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on them, but I'm going to read a story where Jesus had contact with a demon and what he did about it. So I'm going to read through Luke 8, and this is what I've been kind of reading through in Scripture lately. So it starts at verse 27, and Jesus was in the boat before this. He had just calmed the storm, and just to give you a little bit of context reference. And I'm going to start at verse 27. And he stepping ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from town. For a long time this man had not worn clothes or lived in a house, but had lived in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell at his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had commanded the impure spirit to come out of the man. Many times it had seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept under guard, he had broken his chains and been driven by the demon into solitary places. So, if we saw this today, we'd probably be a little bit scared. We'd probably be scared out of our minds if we had seen this. We might not know how to deal with it today if we don't commonly see this. But Jesus rebuked this man. He had rebuked the demon to be driven into solitary places. Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him. And they begged Jesus repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. Here a large herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside. The demons begged Jesus to let them go into the pigs, and he gave them permission. When the demons came out of the man, they went into the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. When those tending the pigs had saw what had happened, they ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they found the man sitting from whom the demons had gone out, sitting at Jesus' feet, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people how the demon-possessed man had been cured. Then all the people of the region of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, because they were overcome with fear. So he got into the boat and left. So much in the scripture, just so much to unpack here. First of all, Jesus saw this man. I believe Jesus had compassion on him because all these other people had looked at him and they deemed him unworthy. They had deemed him too hard to handle. They had chained him hand and foot. But Jesus, I believe, had compassion on this man, and he wanted to change his life. And we see this as evidence the scripture goes on. The man from whom the demons had gone out begged to go with them, but Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." So the man went away and told all over town how much Jesus had done for him. So here we see, God, when we go through stuff like this, if you deal with a demon, and Jesus in his case, when he dealt with demons, he says, I want you to go and give a testimony, testify what I have done for you. We also learn that demons don't have any authority. They have no authority but what God gives them. So we see this again. They are begging him not to send them into abyss. Now, wouldn't you think demons can just do, if we were just thinking about, the demons and Satan and everything in general, we think he has pretty much rule, but that's not true. He does not have authority. Jesus does. Jesus has authority. And here we see it very clearly. They're begging him not to send him into the abyss. So they don't want to go there. They don't want to go into this dark place. But Jesus sent him into the herd of pigs instead. So we learn here that Jesus has authority over demons, and he gives us the authority over them. When we call on his name, we have authority over demons. Now, many people come to me, and I've had this talk before, and there's a point in my life, shortly after I became a Christian, that I did not believe demons existed. Now I do, because God has shown me firsthand that they exist in this day and age. People don't think they do, but they do. I am going to testify here in a minute to a personal story that happened to me just recently. And I've had many other stories happen, but this is one that kind of stuck out in my mind, the most obvious. So But Jesus here showed us that we have this authority over demons. Now, the story I'm about to tell you happened over Thanksgiving weekend, over Thanksgiving Day, to me, and I'd gotten up one morning and I saw our cabinet, our kitchen cabinet. It was torn down in the kitchen. Now it kind of come off the wall, had fallen off the wall a little bit. And no, most people would say, well, your cabinet was old, everything, it was heavy, it was laden down with stuff. But this cabinet had been here for I don't know how many years upon years, and it showed no signs of breaking the day before. So really, when I first saw it, I really didn't think anything out of the norm. Like it's an old cabinet, maybe it just broke. But my father-in-law came over and he helped us kind of clear out the cabinet, to take it down, to put a new one up, and to fix it. So as all that happened, it got cleared out. He took it down. I'm doing dishes at the sink one night, throwing everything in the dishwasher. I just happened to look up and I just noticed on the windowsill there was oil on the windowsill sitting. Now, this wouldn't be, again, very significant, except for somebody that gave it to me is heavily into witchcraft. It kind of registered with me, and I believe God told me that this person that had given me this, it caused my cabinet to fall. I believe that was a demonic activity that was going on that day. Now, it sounds crazy. If you have dealt with demons in your life, you know it's probably not crazy, because anytime Satan likes to screw with you, he'll screw with you. So I just happened to look at this and it just clicked with me. God showed me, hey, this was in your cabinet. I couldn't even remember that. It was given to me. It's peppermint extract. It was just something really simple, stupid. You wouldn't even think of it. I honestly forgot it was there. I was going to throw it out, and I honestly forgot it was there. It was given to me when I was going through morning sickness and with one of my pregnancies. And again, by this lady that's heavily into witchcraft. It was given as a gift. And again, I meant to throw it out, and I never even really thought to do it. Well, the only explanation I could think of is the demons like to screw with you. They like to try to throw you off course. They like to distract you from what you would have to do with Jesus. And I think that's a very logical explanation. Again, that cabinet showed no signs of ever falling, ever having a problem. And God just revealed it to me there in that moment. But he also revealed to me that I have authority, and how important it was to pray over my house and over things. And just realize that we have the authority, because here, as we read in the story with Jesus and the demons going out into the pigs, the people, when they saw this man in his right mind, dressed and not having a demon in him, they were scared. And I realize that's probably a pretty scary thing if you have like somebody in your life that's demon possessed, and all of a sudden you see him pretty normal. Now, I think that would be pretty cool. But, I mean, they were scared. And Jesus, they had asked him to leave, and he left. So I realize sometimes that we do this too, like as people. Like we can look at something God is doing. And I know demonic stuff is really scary. If you have no experience with it, this can be really, really scary. But they were overcome with fear, and they had asked him to leave. So my question is to you: if you're a believer and you haven't dealt with this, how would you react? How would you react if you had, if you saw Jesus just drive out this demon? Would you ask him to leave? Would you be scared? Or would you be celebrating that this man now is demon free? It's something to really think about, because it's not a whole big subject on it that's talked about in churches. It's quite avoided. And people will look at you like you're crazy, but it is true. He had been cured. And I think sometimes, even by the way we act and by the way we don't have faith in Jesus, we ask him to leave. We ask him to leave from places. And we don't give him the credit where it's due. We don't give him the praise where it's due, because I believe that's at the end of the day, sometimes why we deal with stuff like this is to give him the glory, is to give him the praise. Don't be afraid. I know it's easy to be, but don't be afraid. Don't ask Jesus to leave. Don't ask him to get back in that boat without healing you. And that's just my bit of encouragement for you today. Just ask Jesus to be present with you. Ask him to plead his blood over your house. Plead his blood over your family. It's really important that you do that. So I want to encourage you with that today. Guys, I love you and have a good day.